Today officially marks 2 weeks since I had AirSculpt, which is a minimally invasive liposuction procedure, which is basically used to remove fat and tighten skin in various areas of your body. Now that it has officially been 2 weeks and I am on the other side of the recovery process, I'm so excited to get into the nitty-gritty with you guys. I'm going to be sharing the good, the bad, and the ugly, as well as some before and after pics so that you guys can see how I have progressed during my AirSculpt journey. So a couple of months ago, I started looking into options to basically get rid of what I like to call my mommy pooch. I have had 2 C-sections, 2 beautiful babies that I am very proud of. And like I've said over and over again, that I love my body and I'm really proud of what it has done. However, that mom pooch is stubborn and I really, really just wanted mine to flatten out a bit, especially because my husband and I are renewing our vows for our 10-year anniversary in Jamaica this summer. And mama wants to be out there in a bikini. I would have worn my bikini either way because everybody is a bikini body. However, I wanted to feel as confident as possible as we celebrate this milestone. So I started looking into options. The first thing that was recommended to me at the first plastic surgeon that I visited was a tummy tuck. However, personally, I just did not want a tummy tuck, nor did I want full liposuction. The reasoning for me was pretty much just because I don't have 6 to 8 weeks to be down. I have a 4-year-old and a 2.5-year-old. I'm very busy. My household is very busy. I just did not have 6 to 8 weeks. Just been recovering from like a major procedure, and I just didn't feel comfortable going under general anesthesia for something that was elective and for something that was pretty much just for like vanity purposes and not, health purposes. And so I determined that that was not a good fit for me, and I started looking into other options, and I came across AirSculpt. AirSculpt is pretty much as minimally invasive as it comes in terms of liposuction. Like I said, they remove the fat and they can tighten skin, but you can also get other things done. I got my full abdomen done, which includes like your full tummy, lower belly, your waistline, and your flanks, but you can get other things done. They have a procedure that is called Uppercut, where they can pretty much take fat from somewhere else in your body and put it in your boobs. They even do like a little mini BBL. That's what I like to call it. That's actually what my mom got done. Yep, my mom jumped on the AirSculpt train too, where they can remove fat and, fill in your hip dips or a little bit of your butt with it. And so they can do a ton of different body parts with this, but basically the device that they use to remove the fat and to tighten the skin is like, the tip is like the size of a ballpoint pen. So there are no scalpels, no sutures, and no general anesthesia. And that is honestly what attracted me to AirSculpt. So with AirSculpt, your recovery time is much, much quicker. Today, like I said, marks 2 weeks for me, and as of today, I can resume pretty much all of my normal activities. I even went to the gym today, which I'll get into later. So for me, as a busy mom, this just was like a much, much, much more realistic option. On top of that, like from what I have heard, and I've never had any other plastic surgery, but from what I have heard, the pain level with AirSculpt is much, much, much better. So if you are someone like me who doesn't want to go under general anesthesia, or like your lifestyle is just not set up for you to be able to go through something as invasive as a tummy tuck and have all that downtime and recovery time, AirSculpt might be worth looking into for you as well. So initially, I was able to just submit pictures online to the AirSculpt team for them to kind of look at what I wanted to get done and see if it was a good fit. That was my first initial consultation. I literally stood in my kitchen, and I will put the pictures up on the screen. I submitted these pictures to the AirSculpt team, told them what I was interested in getting done. And literally within 24 hours, someone emailed me back and was like, hey, yep, you are a great fit for this procedure. And like, basically, here are the changes that you could expect to see through our procedure. And here would be like the limitations to our procedure. Basically, being a C-section mom, of course, we all know having a C-section, like my muscles were cut through. So they said like, you might still see a tad bit of roundness because you have to like retone, you know, like your muscles, but we can definitely flatten things out, smooth things out, and get rid of the little bit of like hangover that you have. I opted to also go in for a consultation, but I didn't even have to. I could have basically scheduled with them right then and there, just having that virtual consultation. I just wanted to go in and like see the office, meet people, talk to an actual doctor. That's just the kind of person that I am, but I honestly didn't even have to do that. But I did go in for a consultation. I got to like see the office. I got to see the device that they would be using, and I got to talk to the doctor and the nurses about the entire procedure, get their recommendations for like items I should have on hand and all of that. They were all super, super nice and very helpful in making sure that I felt like really informed about the decision that I was making to move forward with my AirSculpt procedure. I want to think that my in-person consultation was on like a Wednesday and my procedure was that following Tuesday. So it was really easy to get an appointment and all of that. There wasn't like a super long wait, and I went ahead and got scheduled because I was ready to get this show on the road. Let's talk about AirSculpt procedure prep. I shared a lot about this in another vlog that I did about my AirSculpt experience, so I won't go into a lot of detail. However, I do want to kind of share with you guys what was advised to me and what I did to prepare for AirSculpt. The first thing is arnica. I didn't bring the box upstairs. I do have like a lot of my little supplies by me, but I didn't bring the box of arnica upstairs. Arnica is basically an all-natural medicine or whatnot that you can take that helps with like bruising and swelling. People take it even like when they've done hard workouts or when like if you fall or something like that. And it's just an all natural, you know, medicine that's going to help with your bruising and swelling. I was told to start taking that basically as soon as possible. I think I ended up starting like 5 days before my procedure, and just to take 2 tablets 3 times a day, like with meals, and it just dissolves under your tongue. It's super quick and easy. But I started taking that before my procedure just so it was already in my system and could already help keep the bruising and swelling at bay. Second thing in terms of preparation is that you cannot have any caffeine the day of your procedure or the day before your procedure. This was a little tricky for me just as a mama, like I need a cup of coffee, but no caffeine the day of and day before, and also no alcohol after midnight on the day of your procedure. So no caffeine, no liquor, take that arnica. Honestly, that was really it. The only other thing is that I was told to purchase 2 things to have on hand. The first were pads to line your garment that you will have on initially, because you will drain like for the first 2 days. I think I drained, yeah, just literally the first 48 hours. I was told that that drainage that's happening, like it's not really blood. It can be like kind of red, you know, tinted, because there can be a little tiny bit of like blood traced in it, but it's not really blood. What it is like the solution that they use for numbing and whatnot kind of just coming back out of your body. And so I got the jumbo poise pads. This was what was recommended to me. And honestly, look, this thing is literally bigger than my head, but these were very, very helpful to like line the inside of my garment with, just over my incision points. I would use probably 4 or 5 of these to line like over where my incisions were, and I would change them like 2 or 3 times a day, I think for the first like 24 hours. And then on that second day, I think I only had to change them like once, and by that point the drainage was gone. So I have a ton of these huge pads that I don't really know what I'm gonna do with, but they were very helpful to have on hand at first. And then the other thing that is also related to the drainage is that they recommended to have Checks pads. Let me see if I can reach these. So, these are Checks pads. You could also just get puppy pads, but they are basically just like hospital grade, you know, pads that you can line your furniture, line your bed, line the car even when you're going home, because you will have some drainage and you don't want to like mess up your stuff. And so I had like these on my side of the bed, stuff like that. And you know, it just caught anything that the poise pads didn't really catch. I did have some leakage on my Checks pads like the first night, but after that, these were totally empty and like didn't really serve a purpose. So definitely just get a small pack. I ordered a ton, and so now we just have shucks pads everywhere. But those are the things that I purchased to have on hand for those first couple of days of recovery. You're also going to have 2 prescriptions that you're going to be taking for the first few days, and those are going to be called in to your pharmacy before your procedure. You do need to pick those up before you go in because they want you to bring them with you the day of your procedure, just so they can make sure that you have them and go over the instructions with you. The first is ibuprofen. It's 800 milligrams. That is just for pain, and really, you can take it as needed, but my nurse did tell me just go ahead and take it around the clock for the first 48 hours because she was just saying, if nothing else, it'll help kind of with the swelling initially. So she was like, just go ahead and take it. Even if you don't feel like you need it, just go ahead and take it for the first 48 hours. And spoiler alert, I took it for the first 48 hours and then I did not need it anymore. The pain was really not that bad. The second prescription is for an antibiotic. You have to take that for 3 days. I believe it's just twice a day for 3 days, and that's it. And of course, that is just to make sure that there is like no infection or anything like that setting in, but it was pretty quick and painless. Of course, with like those type of medicines, you want to make sure that you are eating while you take them, but that is pretty much it. Also, no dieting for 5 days after the procedure because they want you to eat. They want you to fuel your body so that you can, help with the recovery. Like, you need to be nourished and you need to be eating for the 3 days that you're taking those antibiotics anyway. So they said like no dieting, just like eat what you want and what your body is asking for. Also, high protein diet and low salt diet, and those things will help with the swelling as well. So now let's talk about the day of my AirSculpt procedure, which was 2 weeks from today. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail because I actually did a full first 48 hours of AirSculpt vlog that included like my day of and the first 48 hours after. It was pretty detailed and I like took you guys along with me as much as I could. So definitely go back and watch that vlog to see the full day of. But just to give you a quick version, my procedure was at 9:30. I got there. They took my vitals and all of that stuff. They went over post-op instructions, had me go to the bathroom because you cannot get up and use the bathroom while they're working on you. If you do have to use the bathroom after the procedure starts, you have to use a bedpan. Didn't want to do that. So they had me go ahead and use the bathroom. And then they confirmed that they had a correct number for who was going to pick me up. You cannot drive after the procedure just because of the medication they give you. So you do have to have someone come and pick you up. We started my procedure probably about 10:30. I feel like, it took some time before we actually started. It was around 10:30 or maybe even 11. And they gave me a shot of Demerol in my arm, which to me was the most painful part of the whole experience. Like, I feel like my arm is still a little bit sore from that shot of Demerol, but they gave me a shot of Demerol, 2 Xanax, and, I was pretty much just chilling. I was awake during the entire procedure and talking and having conversations with the doctor, the nurse, the staff. I don't remember a lot of the details now because, like I said, Demerol, 2 Xanax. Although I was awake, I was a little bit high, but I do remember us talking and I do remember being awake. I didn't sleep at all. I remember feeling pinches every now and then, and the doctor said that was when they were doing the numbing solution, in the certain areas. And I do remember feeling some pulling or feeling like something was moving around inside of my body. And honestly, for me, it was kind of similar to what my C-section felt like, just the sensation of someone moving something in your body, but you can't really feel exactly what's going on, but you feel a pulling. And so that's kind of what it felt like for me. I have, I believe, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 small incision points, and I'm going to show you guys here. You can see what my incision points look like 2 weeks out. The incision points are very, very small and they scabbed over pretty quickly, but it's the size of a ballpoint pen, and they use the same incision point to remove the fat and to tighten the skin with a separate device. And they actually even used my belly button ring hole. The doctor asked, she was like, do you still wear your belly button ring? And I was like, no girl, I haven't worn that since I got pregnant with my daughter, more than 5 years ago. And she was like, okay, great. I'm going to go ahead and like use this instead of giving you a separate incision. We'll just use this as one of our entrance points, which worked really well. I believe that the whole procedure took around 3 hours. I know that I was back home before 3 o'clock. So, it took around 3 or 4 hours to do the entire procedure. Afterwards, my nurse helped me to get into the garment initially. She went over post-op instructions again with me and my mom, who picked me up. And then I remember talking on the phone to my husband afterwards. So as you can see, I was not like too out of it, because my husband actually asked after the procedure, because he was about to head home from Dubai as all this was going on, and he asked, he was like, hey, so the one thing we didn't talk about is sex. Like, can she have sex, or do we have to wait 2 weeks? And the nurse was like, all I'm going to say is no super strenuous activity for 2 weeks. So whatever you guys choose to do, she needs to be a pillow princess. Those were her words. So we took that to believe that sex was fine as long as I wasn't swinging from any chandeliers or anything like that. So after the procedure, I came home. My kids are already home from school, greeted them. I took a nap for about an hour and a half. And then that same day, my son had his first soccer practice. And I actually ended up going to his first soccer practice because I really wanted to see his practice. So you can tell like I wasn't in that much discomfort, and I wasn't that out of it that I couldn't function. Everything was pretty much smooth sailing, and within reason, I was able to go on about my day. Like after a little bit of a nap, I did definitely have drainage, and those poise pads, like I said, I had to change those for like that first 24 hours. I think I changed them like twice that initial day, and then that next day like once or twice, and then by the end of day 2, the draining had really started to let up. But the next day I had my daughter's pre-K graduation. I went to that and was totally fine. And so I just say all that to say, like, this procedure definitely didn't really slow me down. So on top of the vlog that I shared about my first 48 hours post AirSculpt, I also shared a day of AirSculpt reel on Instagram and also a TikTok version. And I did get some questions on social media that I wanted to answer for you guys. So I'm just going to read the questions that were asked, and then we'll talk about it. So first question that came up, cost. How much does AirSculpt cost? A procedure like mine is going to run you probably between 12 and 16K. That is going to depend obviously on exactly what you need done, and it's going to depend on your location. I can really only speak for the Atlanta location. I know there's a Miami location, there's a Los Angeles location, I think there's probably a New York location, but it's going to run you between like 12 and 16K, but they do have financing options available. It's expensive, it really is, but it's not really that much more expensive than other forms of plastic surgery. It's not like, oh, this is a lot more than a tummy tuck. It is pretty comparable, maybe a little tiny bit more, but pretty comparable to like your more traditional plastic surgery. What body part did you get done, and do they offer others? So I got my full abdomen done. I think I already said that. I got pretty much my entire belly, lower belly, upper belly, the whole thing. And then I also got done my waistline, and that also includes your flanks, which is kind of like that area above your hip. So that is what I got done. And I think they call that a tiny tuck. That is like the cute phrase they have for when you get your full abdomen done with AirSculpt and AirSculpt Plus like I did. AirSculpt is just the fat removal, and then AirSculpt Plus is the skin tightening, and I got a combination of the two that was going to give me, the results that I wanted. They absolutely do other body parts. My mom got her back done, so she got her back done, and then she used the fat from her back to fill in her hip dips, which definitely gives like little mini BBL vibes. She looks really, really good. She said that she has always wanted to be able to wear a backless dress. She already had a very nice body, especially to be 60 plus, but whatever is going to make her feel more confident, I totally get. And so yeah, now she can wear those backless dresses, and she also has a little bit of a booty, which she has never had before. So I am happy for her. Like I said, they also do a procedure called uppercut where you can like take fat and put it into your boobs. Honestly, if I ever do anything like this again, that is what I will be doing, because nursing two babies definitely made my boobs change. But yeah, they even do chins. So pretty much I think sky's the limit on what part of the body that you get done. I've seen a lot of people get this done as well. So pretty much I'm pretty sure anything that you can get liposuction on, you can also get AirSculpt on. Let's see. Pain level. That was like the number one question I got, was like, what's your pain been like? Did it hurt? All of that. And so first, let's talk about my pain level during the procedure. I already kind of got into this when I was talking about day of, but honestly, during the procedure, I was not really in any pain. Like I said, I felt pinches like when they were doing the numbing solution, and I felt pulling. But to say like, ow, that hurt, like I never said ow. The only thing that to me I was like, that kind of hurt, was when she did the Demerol shot. But other than that, during the procedure, I did not feel pain at all. You know, I felt them moving around in my body. Like anytime that, you know, someone is inside of your body with a device of any sort, you're gonna feel it a little bit, and it's gonna feel kind of awkward because it's foreign, but it definitely wasn't painful. After the fact, there have been days of like soreness or things that I've done, like bending a certain way, moving a certain way, that I've been like, oh, don't do that again. That doesn't feel good. There have been times that I've definitely been a little bit sore, but again, I wouldn't say that it's been painful. On a scale from 1 to C-section, that's what we're gonna call 10, from 1 to C-section, and if you've had a C-section before, you'll definitely be able to understand what I mean. On a scale from 1 to C-section, I would give my discomfort after AirSculpt a 4. So it really hasn't been bad. Like I said, for the first 2 days, I went ahead and took the ibuprofen around the clock. So maybe that helped a lot. But then after those 2 days, I did not even need the ibuprofen at all. By the end of the night, I was definitely a little bit more sore than I would be like when I woke up in the morning. But it wasn't pain, and it wasn't to the point where I felt like I needed to medicate or anything like that. So yeah, it's been a pretty quick and painless experience, if I'm honest. Next question, how's the swelling been and when will it all settle? So I had like a list of things that I felt like I needed to share about AirSculpt that surprised me. And I think the number one thing that surprised me is the swelling. They told me that I would swell. Like they warned me that there would be swelling and that it would take a while for the swelling to go down. And I guess I just didn't believe them. However, if you are having liposuction of any sort, even AirSculpt, expect swelling. Today, we are at the 2-week mark, and I will show you guys some before and after pictures in a few moments. And we are just at a point where I'm starting to really be able to see my results, because the swelling has been so much that to me, like with the swelling, I really looked the same as before, because I was so swollen. And like even to the touch, you could feel that I was definitely swollen. And like the crazy thing is, based on the position I was in, or like how I was wearing my garment or my foam insert, which I'll talk more about in a second, the swelling would kind of like shift, and I would have areas that were kind of like harder or more swollen than others. There was a lot of swelling. And then I'm going to tell you guys a little secret, a little bit of TMI. The fluid and swelling really can like shift throughout your body. So like for my mom, she said that her ankles and her feet would be swollen like by the end of the day. My swelling was in my vagina, which I was warned about, but still totally thrown off guard for some reason. I guess like just because I was up on my feet a lot during the day, like the fluid and swelling would kind of shift from my stomach into my vagina. And I kid you guys not, like my vagina was like huge. And this was probably around like the 6-7 day mark that like I was like, whoa, to the point where like I sent a text to one of the staff members who told us like text her anytime with any questions, and I was like, girl, like, is my vagina supposed to be this swollen? And she was like, yes, like absolutely, it's totally normal. But yeah, definitely expect swelling. Like I said, today I'm at 2 weeks and my vagina is not swollen anymore. I don't have any swelling in my ankles or my feet, and I finally feel like the swelling has gone down substantially. However, I do still feel like I'm still swollen. Like when I touch my belly, it's still hot and it still just feels swollen. It is definitely improved, but really you should expect swelling for I believe like 4 weeks before it is kind of starting to go down completely, which is why I wanted to get this procedure done as soon as possible, because I believe right now I am about 5 weeks away from our trip to Jamaica, and so I wanted to make sure that by the time we leave for Jamaica, all the swelling is gone. All right, next question. How has the recovery been, and will you have any scarring? The recovery has honestly been easier than I expected. Like I said, the swelling was the only thing that like kind of, I guess, caught me off guard, even though I was warned, but the pain level has not been bad. I have been able to pretty much go about my days as normal. Like I haven't had to like sit down and rest or anything like that. The recovery has been quick and easy. And I showed you guys my incision points. So, you know, they're pretty small. Like we're talking, you know, that big. And so I don't really anticipate having a big, you know, scar. My C-section scar is like way more big and pronounced than that. However, of course, like because they did, you know, make a tiny, you know, incision, I guess, for lack of a better word, to get the device in to do what they needed to do. You know, you can have scarring from that, but it is so small. And now that we are 2 weeks out and my incisions are fully closed, I can go ahead and start putting on scar gel for those too. And just like looking at mine now, I honestly don't think they're gonna scar. However, I will be using scar gel on them just in case. Okay, so the final question that I got is kind of gonna take us in to what I wanted to talk about next, which is perfect. Do you have any advice on the recovery process? So first thing I would say is take arnica. Like I said, I started taking that before my procedure. I highly recommend it. I just in my head really feel like it has helped. Take that to help with your scarring and your bruising. Also, just go ahead and take your ibuprofen like I did for the first 2 days, like just to be on the safe side. Secondly, I definitely suggest that you wear your garment. You have to wear your garment for the first 2 weeks. Like they really only want you to take it off for an hour a day to shower and wash it. Now that I'm at the 2-week mark, I actually don't have to wear a compression garment anymore, but I still will. But for the first 2 weeks, you have to wear it and make sure you are wearing it, because wearing it is really going to help your swelling subside, and it's going to just help those results to like, you know, set in, give you that hourglass curve and give you that flat tummy or whatever part of the body that you got. Like my mom, since she got something done to her hips and butt, she has like a little BBL pillow that she has to use. So whatever they give you to use for those first 2 weeks, make sure that you are using it and following those instructions to the T. For the first 48 hours, you can't even shower. You need to have your garment on for the entire first 48 hours. So just make sure that you are following those instructions. Like don't go out and buy something different than they give you. Like just use what they give you. Make sure that you use it, but use what they give you, because what they give you really is the best thing. They are the experts. Also, when it comes to using what they give you one garment. Go ahead and buy another one. I only had one, the one that they gave me. I didn't think that I would need an extra, but by day 4, I wished that I had bought an extra garment like from them to use for the first 2 weeks, because you know, you take it off every day or every other day to wash it and dry it. You can wash it on gentle cycle and tumble dry it on low, but it's annoying, or it was for me, to have to like wait until it dried to like put it back on. Like I wish that I had just had 2 of those that I was able to interchange. And so I would say if it's an option for you, go ahead and just pay the additional cost to get 2 garments from them for those first 2 weeks instead of just 1. Also, limit your salt. I am such a salt person. I love salty foods, but I cut out salt pretty much completely, or cut out added salt pretty much completely when I went for my 1-week checkup, and the nurse was like, girl, have you been eating a lot of salt? And my swelling started to decline much quicker when I stopped eating salty foods. And so cut out salt. Do make sure that you're eating a lot of protein and not a lot of salt, because that's going to help with your recovery. Other things that I wish I had known or like, done after the fact. So you're not supposed to wear anything that is like putting pressure or like squeezing on your waist or on the area that you got done, really for the first few weeks. And so you might want to invest in like some loose flowy dresses or like some loose fitting sweatpants. You don't want to wear like denim or jeans or anything with like a waistband, even leggings. Like those things are going to be too tight initially. So I would definitely recommend just like buying a few items that you can wear for those first few weeks that are like loose and flowy and comfortable, and that are going to hide everything that you have going on underneath, whether it's like your garment with poise pads or a liposuction foam board or whatever. You definitely want just like flowy, loose fitting options. So last week I had my 1 week checkup, and I will say that I feel like after my 1 week checkup is when I started to kind of get on the other side of the recovery. I started to kind of see like the light at the end of the tunnel, in terms of being able to see my results and whatnot. At that 1 week checkup, I was told to start doing self massages on the area to kind of, move that fluid through. You're supposed to massage towards your incision points to kind of move that fluid away. And also it helps to break up any scar tissue, just to make sure that you don't have any like hard areas. When I started to do those massages, that's when I really, really noticed that my swelling started going down substantially. So that 1 week mark definitely felt like a crucial part of my journey. In terms of the massages, this is what I use for the most part. This is something that I got on Amazon. I will find a link for it. I'm pretty sure it's like called liposuction or like lymphatic massage roller, and it's basically just like a little rolling ball massager. I feel like this helps me to really get into the area more so than I can with my hands, and so this has been really, really helpful for me in recovery. The other thing is that I have been or had been washing my incision points with Dial soap, just like something antibacterial. That is recommended. I feel like whenever you have any kind of surgery or like piercing, tattoo, whatever, whenever you want to keep an area clean, you're going to use that old school gold bar of Dial soap. And what I found helpful was using the bar of soap to massage the area when I was in the shower. Like that worked really well for me. Also, the other thing is that now that I am at the 2 week mark, I have switched from the garment that they gave me to a stage 2 garment. So as I said, with AirSculpt, you have to wear your garment pretty much around the clock for 2 weeks. But once you reach that 2 week mark, which I have today, you don't have to wear it at all. However, they do recommend that you continue to wear it for like 4 weeks in total, just to like optimize your results. And so I pretty much have decided that I'm going to be wearing my garment until we go to Jamaica, but you don't have to wear it if you don't want. Or my nurse told me a lot of people will like at the 2 week mark start doing like 12 hours on, 12 hours off. I actually took mine off when I went to the gym today just because I couldn't imagine like working out in it. I wore Spanx up under my gym clothes just to like give me some support still. But I wanted to show you guys what the compression garment, the stage 2, looks like. This one is from Snatched Body, and here's what it looks like. It is high in the back. It comes up mid-thigh, and there is this nice zipper right in the crotch so that you can do what you need to do without having to take it off. It has, closure similarly to a waist trainer, and you can, use whichever part of it you need. I really like this brand, and this particular compression garment is very, very, very comfortable. I have one on right now, so I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys what that looks like. But first, I wanted to show you this. So you should wear a lipo foam board inside your compression garment. It is gonna help to pretty much keep the area flat and also keep the compression garment from like digging into your skin. You don't want any indentations while you're swollen, because apparently those indentations can stay. And so this is what a lipo foam board looks like. And you're gonna want to wear one of these inside of your garment. Personally, with what I've got done, and I guess my trouble area, I found it more helpful to wear mine like this, kind of across my lower belly. And I literally kind of like pull my lower belly up, so to make sure that it's like sitting up flat against this. And I wear mine this way in my compression garment. So real quick, I'm gonna stand up and just kind of show you guys what the compression garment looks like on. The one that I have on is a different color than this one because versatility, you know. So let's see. Here we go. I'm too lazy to take off my shirt and my shorts completely, but I'm just gonna pull down a bit so that you guys can see. So we have the zipper, you know, here so that I can unzip it if I need to use the restroom. I have mine on the tightest closure right now for this one, and you can see how like the foam board is sitting right here. And yeah, to me this is not uncomfortable at all. It's not like bothering me to wear it, so I will continue to wear it, you know, until we leave for Jamaica in a few weeks, because I want to make sure that I get all that I can get in terms of this procedure and the results that I'm expecting. So today I'm officially 2 weeks post AirSculpt liposuction procedure. Another question that has come up a lot is would I do it again? And the answer is absolutely. It has really been a lot easier than I would have anticipated. I had a few people, or one person, tell me like that she had liposuction in her abdomen and like it was very, very painful, and I couldn't help but compare, you know, what I was getting done to what she had done. But my experience with AirSculpt, I think, was very different than her experience with traditional lipo. Like, I really, guys, I have not been in pain once. Like I said, there has been soreness, but not pain. When I say soreness, like, it feels like I did a hard ab workout. Like, I have not ever been like, oh my gosh, this hurts so bad, or anything like that. I don't know that if I have just like a really high threshold for pain. I have had brain surgery and 2 C-sections. And so if you've had this done and you found it painful, of course, this is no knock on you. But for me, it really, really hasn't been bad. And then like today, it has only been 2 weeks since the procedure, and I was able to go to the gym today. I, you know, played tennis with my husband for an hour. I did a 30-minute walk on the treadmill. Nothing like super, super strenuous, because it is my first day back to working out. I didn't want to push it. But the fact that I was able to do that just 2 weeks out, and the fact that I've still been able to mom, you know, do everything that comes along with motherhood throughout this entire process, to me has been a total game changer. So if you are like me and you're looking for a procedure that is minimally invasive, if you don't want to go under general anesthesia, if you need to bounce back to your regular life quickly, I would definitely recommend AirSculpt. And now, drum roll please. I know a lot of you are here for the before and afters, so here we are. As you guys can see, there's still quite a bit of swelling that I have going on, but I am already just like blown away by the results. When I look at how my belly kind of used to like hang over, and how my little mom pooch used to kind of, you know, protrude, I can definitely see improvement. And I definitely feel already like I am just like more confident naked, and like I will be more confident in a bikini. And at the end of the day, like, I think that's what it's all about. As women, we should lean into doing whatever makes us feel most beautiful and most comfortable in our skins. So no regrets. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this vlog. If you have any other AirSculpt questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below. I will be doing another AirSculpt follow-up when I hit the probably 3-month mark, because that's the next time that I go see the AirSculpt team and get like before and after pictures, or after pictures done there to compare to my before pictures that they took. And so I will be sharing more then. But in the meantime, if you have any questions, feel free to let me know, and be sure to subscribe so you don't miss my next update. Thanks, guys.